right now, what are you telling the team right now in order to rebuild for Sac State?
So not looking at it so much as a rebuild. Like I said earlier, just opportunities. We just need to take advantage of opportunities that are there and when they present themselves. For us, we played well. We had good moments, but we have a standard here. The standard's the standard. The standard's to win the game, and we didn't do that. So we are an 0-1 football team right now. That's where it's at right now, and we need to go be 1-0 and even this thing up after we get through Saturday.
For sure. What do you think the offense needs to improve on this week in preparation for Saturday's game?
Just the normal stuff. I know Mikey would want some throws back. Try to get the running game going a little bit more. But it's a totally different challenge. It's a totally different defense we're going to play against as far as scheme and things like that. So we'll do some things to help us this week to hopefully open some things up and get a little bit more balanced and play with a little bit more tempo and things like that and see what we can do.
For sure. And the defense, to me, is the one that stood out the most. You guys stopped a really great team in their tracks on more than several series. What do you think the defense needs to do in order to keep that energy, that enthusiasm, that motivation going into Saturday's matchup?
Yeah, I mean, the way college football is going, being on defense is very hard. You're playing different styles every single week. So we're going to have our hands full as far as in space. Sac State's going to spread us out, try to get one-on-one. So we have to win our one-on-one matchups, and I think we'll be fine.
While watching the game, I saw that the offensive line for Michigan had really no returning starters from last year. Yeah, they had been with the program, but they were all first-timers. For the front seven did a great job at stopping the run and holding your best against the top program. Was that part of the strategy going into the game, was exploiting their lack of experience from the front seven of your unit?
Not really. To be honest with you, we were we were real concerned about the matchup. I mean, even though they really only had one guy that you might call a returning starter because he played a significant amount last year, 78, the big tackle. But all those guys are top-level recruits. They're all impressive players. A lot of them had playing time, some at other schools and transferred in, and we studied them on tape. So, like I mentioned, that offensive line will be the best one we play all year. And our guys just, took the fight to them as we hoped we could, and I just can't say enough about how hard they played and fought to play with that kind of technique and that type of thing. And that was the biggest difference for us to be able to be in the game late in the game. Our ability to stop the run. Their number one running back, I don't know exactly what his stats were, but they weren't very impressive, and that was largely due to our guys up front. And at the end of the game, we gave up a couple runs, which we wish we could get back. And if you really look at the tape, we missed some tackles late in the game. It wasn't that we were getting knocked off the ball or we were out of position. We had a few guys that, I don't know if it was just that we were getting a little worn down, maybe. I don't know. We just missed the tackles there at the end, and they gained some extra yards, but it wasn't because of lack of effort.
Oh, sure. Well, the defense was a plus. That was definitely a standout of the game. But with that, only limiting Michigan to only 2 offensive touchdowns, a great display of defense there. What statement do you think your group made to not only to the non-conference but also conference opponents, in your schedule, of what kind of statement do you think the defense made going forward into the season?
I think it was a positive for us, but I keep reinforcing the fact that consistency is a sign of a really good team. So what we do this week will be as important as what we did against Michigan. Yeah, we've kind of set a little bit of a standard here for one game. And you're not measured on one game, you're measured on entire season. So what we do moving forward here, trying to stay as consistent as possible is the answer for us right now. And we're going to challenge our players hard in practice this week to come out and play even better than we did last week.
And building on what I asked Skipper, what is the defense going to do going into Sac State in terms of, you guys did a good job, but how are you guys going to build on that momentum and that enthusiasm going into Saturday's matchups?
Well, I think we've got that chemistry with our group. I think they're excited. I think they came into the building yesterday feeling that, they knew that we had opportunities. We didn't cash in on them. And but there's a confidence factor that you gain to a degree from a game like that. So now, how can we continue to build on it? That's really our challenge as coaches and players. You know, like I said, if you want to be special, you got to go out there and prove it every week. And so the only way to do that is to have great practices, great preparation, and then to put it on the field come Saturday and each and every Saturday.
Was there any talks about expanding on the play calling to get you guys closer in terms of scoring sooner?
I mean, you know, I maybe it felt like we were digging into the playbook a little more. You know, we were kind of digging in the whole time. It's just, you know, we kind of found a little bit of a rhythm, you know, and you know, some guys made some plays on that drive. You know, I think that's probably the number one thing that stands out as you look at, you know, the Jalen Moss catch. You know, that we'd already ran that play in the game. You know, so I mean, we just happened, they gave us different covers. The ball went to a different spot. You know, Jalen made a great catch. You know, you look at, you know, just kind of the way things shook out. You know, Nate Acevedo makes a big time catch on the scramble. You know, so really, you know, guys made some plays. It wasn't necessarily, you know, a lot of things that, you know, wasn't anything necessarily maybe I did differently. It was, you know, guys made some plays, and, you know, Mikey gave them chances to make plays. And, you know, again, we talked a lot about trying to be kind of default aggressive, and, you know, Mikey putting that ball up to Jalen Moss early in that drive really kind of spearheaded it. Mikey made a great check. You know, they were playing cover zero on the touchdown there, and Mikey at the line of scrimmage saw that they were playing cover zero, made our cover zero check that we got, and then Raylan made a, you know, great run after catch. So, you know, there was some really positive things about that, but to me that was players. You know, that was Mikey recognizing the coverage there and changing it. You know, Raylan turning and communicating the call outside. I mean, that was a players driven thing.
Yeah. And the tail of the tape showed that, you know, Michigan, you know, the D-line, there's some big boys, and it showed that, you know, in pass protection, the offensive line was challenged on one-on-one pass protection. Was there any other sets or formations in mind to put more people in the box to assist Mikey Keenan, give him extra time to throw the ball?
That's always tough, because the more people that you put in the box, the more people that they're going to put to defend the box. You know, and especially when they've got pressures called, a lot of times when those guys stay in protection, if somebody's covering somebody and they stay in the protection, then they just add on, so it just kind of creates more pressure sometimes. So, you know, one of the big things is just we did try and have formation variety and protection variety. That was probably the main point of emphasis there. You know, with that, you know, there was a few times where we had the tight end in checking and protection before he would release, just to kind of assist with that. You know, because we got a major variety of fronts and pressures.
For sure. But you don't. The offense did show that they can move the ball in the number 9th ranked team in the country. Will that inspire you to get more creative with the offensive playbook going forward, not just with Sac State, but for the rest of your opponents going into 2024?
Yeah. I think that, you know, again, unfortunately, you don't really see the end result, but, you know, there's a few times that, again, like, we won't see another front seven like that again. Like, our O-line, who they had to block, we won't see anybody like that. And we're going to see some good teams, don't get me wrong. We'll see some really good defenses. But creating as much movement as we did at the point of attack on a few of those, just condensed, you know, I'm excited about what we can do with those guys up front moving forward.